limited time. Indulge in the irresistible goodness of large, traditional bone-in wings coated in a crispy beer batter and fried to perfection. Try them with hot honey or any other sauces. And for those busy summer days coming up, look no further than their Southern Fried Wings Family Bundle. Wings and Rings, 2 Lincoln locations on O Street or Village Lane.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No tag-ons, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
The dangers of secondhand smoke are well known. But what about secondhand aerosol, which is created when using e-cigarettes? Science already shows a secondhand aerosol can contain nicotine, heavy metals, and cancer-causing agents. Eliminating exposure to secondhand aerosol is an important step to keeping everyone safe. Breathe easier knowing the facts.
For help quitting, call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Old School with DP and J.
And Todd Bowles, I'm going to tell you this, DP, his voice does not match his body type.
That's what I'm saying. He's never, I don't know how you can be led by Todd Bowles' voice.
That's a fireable offense anyway.
Like his facial expression is top notch. Then his voice, because it's literally you're there expecting. It's like Mike Tyson.
93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. On the Block with Strick and Austin.
There's that pit in my stomach. I hope that knot gets untangled and untied so that the Royals can be in contention for the playoffs come late August into September. I'm not holding my breath for it, but before I freak out and lose my mind about how bad things are right now, I'm going to choose to look back at last year and remember how bad 56 and 106 felt.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is the Happy Hour.
You guys know the Happy Hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I am a huge guy.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. Happy Thursday. A little bit of a gloomier day than we've had the last couple of days here in good old Lincoln, Nebraska. Nick Sainert, Rico with you. This is the Happy Hour on a Thursday. Hello, Rico.
Hello.
How's the day?
So far, so good.
402-464-5685, the Honda Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line are open for you guys the entire show today, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Allo Channel 961. All places for you guys to get in touch with the show. We got a good one lined up for you over the next hour or so as we get you ready for On the Block and the rest of the afternoon and evening programs on the ticket. Plenty of NBA draft thoughts from last night. Round 1, round 2 starts later this afternoon, I believe at 4 o'clock.
I'm not sure how I feel about this.
It begins at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Not sure if that's Eastern time or Central time. I would assume it's probably Eastern
Usually
time.
they go Eastern
But-
time. It bothers me because normally they had the NBA draft just both rounds in one day.
Yeah.
And I thought that was fine because this may sound disrespectful and rude. I don't know how much people really pay attention to the second round draft picks.
Mhm.
There have been a couple second round steals here and there,
Bryce McGowan's being one of them.
but for the most part, first round, that's it. It's not the NFL draft where there's 7 rounds.
Yeah.
And you'll get somebody in the 5th round that you're just like, wow, that is a massive steal. Usually in the second round of the NBA draft, there's like a couple of guys where you're like, that guy definitely should have been a first rounder. But for the most part, it's like, it's people who, this is usually when you get a lot of guys who get drafted and they're draft and stash guys who play overseas, where a team's like, we're going to take you, but you're not coming over to the US for another like 3 years.
Yeah. Well, and there were some surprises last night too, where it was like, dang, did this guy really fall this low?
Yeah.
And I think the biggest one out of last night's results was Dalton Connect at 17.
Yes.
To the Lakers, right? And that's kind of a universal belief, because I was also surprised that who was at 15? I believe it was the Portland Trailblazers.
Yes.
Portland was at 15. I was surprised that they didn't take, or excuse me, maybe it was the Miami Heat. It was the Miami Heat at 15. I was surprised not to see Miami take a swing at Dalton Connect because he would have fallen in their lap. But ultimately, he falls until 17. Dalton Connect, 23 years old, and per ESPN,
H2O
mentioned that was the reason. That is the biggest reason as to why Dalton Connect fell. It wasn't the case. And this comes from ESPN verbatim here, because the Miami Heat took former Indiana big man Kel'el Ware, 15th overall.
Like that pick. I don't like that pick for Miami, but I like that pick overall for somebody else who would.
For NBA.
I don't think he would have fit in. I don't think he fits that well in Miami, but I think if he would have gone almost anywhere else, that it would have been a really good pick. If you would have, hold on. So it was Memphis taking Zach Edey. If Memphis would have taken Kel'el Ware, I think that might have been obviously too high, but I think that would have been a better pick because I think he's defensively faster than Zach Edey is. He may not be the same presence that Zach Edey is, sitting
Certainly
at 7'3", 299 pounds. Kel'el Ware 6'11", 6'10", somewhere around there, and a little bit on the thinner side. But defensively, if you can work with him to get his mind right and get him focused all of the time, as opposed to some of the time, I think that he's going to be a really good defensive piece for the Miami Heat and might allow Bam Adebayo to not have to go into that 5 spot or play up against a lot of those bigs and let him focus more on the defensive or on the offensive side of things.
So very similar build Kel'el Ware is to Thomas Bryant, where you have Bam Adebayo, who's a little shorter than Kel'el Ware, but a little stockier.
Yeah, Bam is a power forward.
Bam,
he shouldn't be playing at the 5.
Bam is bigger. Kel'el Ware sits at 7 foot 242 is what they list him as. Zach Edey, like you mentioned, 7'4",
7'3",
yeah,
299.
Yeah, I think I saw 298. So you're grasping at straws.
He's
there.
over 3.
So over 3 bills.
He's over 3.
But that's where it's interesting. It's focusing on Miami. I think the reason they selected Kel'el, and this is kind of something that ESPN wrote up too, is you have defensive limitations with Tyler Hero. Especially around the perimeter. I think they probably felt the same way about Dalton Connect too, that maybe potentially there's, because Connect known for certainly scoring the basketball, concern regarding defensive ability on the perimeter for Dalton Connect. The Lakers said, whoa, he falls to 17. All right, we'll scoop him up. That's fine. And they scoop up Dalton Connect. I think in what is being categorized or thought to be the steal of the draft, right? It has a similar feel to like Micah Parsons getting selected 11th overall to the Cowboys. Like, how does this guy fall?
Like, he definitely should not have
fallen. But when you bring up Zach Edey too, so Zach Edey with the Memphis Grizzlies, you pair him with Jaren Jackson. We talked about it this morning on the drive a little bit, Rico. Paint presence to the max with those two guys. Of Jaren Jackson Jr., the former Michigan State big man. And then now you throw in Zach Edey, as we talked about, 7'4", 7'3", 300 pounds ish, around there, depending on the day. Maybe 300 on the weekdays, but 298 on the weekends. But nonetheless, you have
313 in the offseason.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, like Zion. No, not really like Zion. But Zach Edey probably picked a little higher than we all envisioned or expected him to go in the top 10. I think when we had that conversation about it, myself, Strick, Austin, I think you were part of it, Rico, of like, where did we see Zach Edey going? And Strick asked the question of, is he a first or a second round guy? And I think we all unanimously agreed that it was a first round guy, just did not expect top 10.
Late first round, and it would have been a team who you see that he's falling in the first round, and you're like, okay, we're going to trade up from the second round into that first round to take him. Like that's kind of how I saw things going, just because he extremely efficient in college.
Yeah.
The size, you can't teach the size. He's got great defensive IQ, and it also, he's 7'4", 300 pounds. So I think all of that kind of was in his favor, but in terms of where the NBA is or where the NBA was, he didn't really fit the mold of the athletic, quick, has the option to stretch the floor.
Stretchability.
Not necessarily like a 38% three-point shooter, but somebody who can knock down a corner three from time to time.
Yeah.
That's not really what Zach Edey is. So a lot of people were thinking that he's kind of that back to the basket guy who you get the ball into him. He's bigger than everybody. He goes to work and can get you 2 points here, like from time to time when you dump it into him. But it's not the way that the NBA has been moving, although it does kind of seem like the big man is coming back to a small degree.
I would say this, if you're Ja Morant, I think you're somewhat intrigued by the selection, and here's why. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of just mass in the paint, in the lane, but with the positive of it is you're talking about a guy who can set some real bruising screens.
Yes.
In Zach Edey that could help a guy like Ja Morant potentially score some easier buckets. However, on the negative side of things, Zach Edey isn't going to be able to run the floor in defensive transition.
His speed
as well
is
as
a
others.
massive liability.
Yeah.
He is not he has a very long stride. He can get down the court in like 7 steps. It just takes a while for his feet to get back to the ground.
Which all that makes me wonder, like the average in minutes per game for Zach Edey in year one. Like, is he going to be, kind of hanging around the 25-minute mark minutes per game? Like just because of energy and being able to run up and down the floor.
The NBA game is much faster than the college game. And it's going to be fun to see how Zach Edey adjusts to that, especially with a team like Memphis that likes to run.
Yeah.
They like to move quickly. So
and that's what allows Jaren Jackson and that team specifically to still be valuable, because he has that rim presence, but he's able to stretch now. He's developed a little bit of a three-point shot. He's been able to kind of expand his game a little bit more than when he got into the league. And we know it. He's been a presence in the league his entire career almost. And that's what makes him fit. Great
shot blocker, great shot alterer. But this isn't your grandpa's Memphis Grizzlies. They're not, putting up 72 points.
Well, they don't have Zach Randolph on their team.
There's no Zebo there. There's no Zebo. There's no Marc Gasol.
Yeah.
So adding Zach Edey, again, it adds to the paint presence with Jaren Jackson Jr. It's an interesting fit with Ja Morant because the paint's going to be clogged.
Yeah.
Although, like you mentioned, Jaren Jackson Jr. has developed that outside shot. He's not a person who you're scared of. I said this earlier on the drive. You're not frightened of Jaren Jackson Jr. beating you from three-point land. Yeah, he'll hit a couple threes here and there, but he's not going to pour in, 6 threes a game, and you're going to, have to run out to stop him from shooting a three. No, he's still a very athletic big man who makes his hay in the paint, getting to work with his back to the basket, or he has that little spot-up mid-range shot as well. Zach Edey going to pack the paint as well. And then Ja Morant, another guy who has improved his three-point shot through the years, but again, is not a three-point threat per se. He's the athletic dude who's going to dunk on your head. But if you have 2 bigs in the paint, that means the 2 defensive bigs are in the paint as well.
Exactly.
Maybe he gets his posters up, but it's going to be tough going for Ja Morant to get into the paint. They're going to have to surround this team. If you have Zach Edey and Jaren Jackson Jr. both on the court at the same time, your small forward and your shooting guard, your 2 and your 3 better be knocking down threes with regularity.
That's where it's going to be really interesting when Memphis faces off against athletic bigs, right? Maybe some more of those athletic teams. I mean, you look at the Celtics as one of those, right? Where Al Horford certainly has the stretch ability. Kristaps certainly does as well. Even with like teams like Minnesota and Karl Anthony Towns. And obviously the Denver Nuggets with Jokic and Aaron Gordon. And Aaron Gordon, not necessarily a stretch guy, but is capable of moving.
I guess if you want to compare them, and this is not a one-to-one comparison, if you want to compare how this team just kind of set their lineup, it's that Minnesota team.
It is.
Anthony Edwards, Ja Morant, Karl Anthony Towns, Jaren Jackson Jr., Rudy Gobert.
That's right.
And Zach Edey.
Yeah.
Again, not a one-to-one comparison, but that's probably
similar types.
That's probably as close as you're going to get as a team that has a similar lineup to what this Memphis Grizzlies team might be looking at.
And I suppose it worked for Minnesota. It's not that it can't work.
No.
It's that until you run into an athletic big man or big men for a 7-game series, how do you stack up against them?
Yeah.
And we saw that, I think, with Minnesota too. Minnesota towards the end as well. But once again, 402-464-5685. How do you feel about the Knicks?
I feel great.
OG Anunoby back.
OG and Mikal Bridges, like, it's over. Yeah. That's good luck, East.
Isaiah Hartenstein.
So
not gonna be a part.
So with the trades that they made, not making that 25th pick, making the 26th pick, it was supposed to be a draft and stash. He says he's going to be in the U.S. this year. I think they're going to try and convince him to stay over in France, or in Germany. He was playing in Germany in the Bundesliga. If they can convince him to stay with the way that the draft slot selections, kind of like baseball, were sitting, you were going to have to pay these guys this amount of money.
Of course.
You draft and stash, you trade out of that first round. Now you've got some money to spend.
Speaking of trades, did you see the trades for, I believe it was for the 9th overall pick. It was the ones, or excuse me, 8th overall, where Rob Dillingham was taken.
Yep.
Traded for 2030 picks. That selection was taken or was traded for like 2030 picks. It feels like you're playing NBA 2K.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I'm not going to be playing this franchise mode for 10 more seasons in here. So I'm just going to deal these picks to get LeBron James on my team. That's what it felt like. Obviously not Rob Dillingham's not LeBron James,
says you.
But it's 20. I mean, we're talking about 2030 is 5 years away.
Yeah, the fact that 2030 is 5 years away,
fascinating.
Kind of hurts.
It does. It certainly does. Baylor Shireman, Creighton guy was taken.
He was a guard.
He is a guard. Creighton guard taken in the final selection of the first round by the NBA champion Boston Celtics last night. The draft round 2 does start at 3 p.m. Central Time today. Couple notable names still on the board that Husker fans, just college basketball fans, might still be aware of. We saw a lot of international guys go first round, which is not necessarily a shocker. But there's a lot of college guys that are still on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Some college guys like Reed Shepherd. I mentioned Rob Dillingham. They go. Dalton Knecht, Baylor Shireman are included in that.
Donovan Clingan.
Yeah, from UConn. They go in the first round. How about these names? Kyle Filipowski from the Duke Blue Devils. The point guard, Tyler Kolek from the Marquette Golden Eagles is listed as one of the best available.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Furphy from Kansas. You have Kevin McCullough Jr. from Kansas. Cameron Christie from the University of Minnesota. There's a couple of ones as we continue to go down the list. And listed as 25th available on the ESPN draft
Jamal
available
Shedd
board.
out of Houston.
Yeah. Listed as 25th available, 25th best person available, Bronny James from USC. His teammate Collier was taken in the first round yesterday, but nonetheless, Bronny James still looking for a landing spot. There's a lot of talk around There's a lot of talk around that 54 and 55th pick. Boston Celtics have the 54th. Los Angeles has the 55th.
Can you imagine Boston just to be like that?
Bargaining chip.
They're just like, you know what?
Give us Austin Reeves for Bronny James if you want to you want to unite them.
That is exactly who they would go for.
It is absolutely who they would go for. But no, nonetheless, that the second round starts
Keisei Tominaga still available?
Indeed. Starts at 3 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Eastern. So just stay tuned. That stuff will be happening during On the Block with Strick and Austin. Let's take a break. When we come back, we dive into a couple of noteworthy pieces out of the college baseball world. Texas A&M losing transfer after transfer. We dive back into that on maybe a little bit of a larger scale discussion. We do that in the final segment. There was an article in The Athletic, and they've been doing this series called Missing Bats. That's what it's been titled, and it's regarding Major League Baseball pitchers. Well, the headline in this one, as MLB arm injuries mount, the rising cost of gas becomes clear. And it's a fascinating read. Highly recommend, if you have the Athletic subscription, to go check it out. We'll break it down in the crossover. That's what we'll do with Austin and Strick once they tune in and get you ready for On the Block starting a little after 2 p.m. Don't go anywhere. Huge thanks to our sponsors, Empire Fence and Netting, for their support of the show. As always, we'll step aside, come right back on 93.7 The Ticket.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and right now they are offering huge, and I mean huge, discounts at Koppel. Get over $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing on select Sierras or Silverados. Plus, Costco members receive another $1,000 off. Yes, that's happening right now in Louisville. $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing. You pick what works for you. Costco members, please contact us at the store or at KoppelCars.com. All deals with approved credit must trade and finance.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. We see a chance of showers and storms throughout the day, otherwise mostly cloudy with the high around 86. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms are likely with the low around 69. And tomorrow, continued chance of showers and storms, otherwise mainly sunny with the high around 91. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today. Ironhide Construction is a Nebraska-based general contracting and steel construction firm. Their expert team is experienced in building innovative construction solutions across several industries. While they were previously known for their extensive experience in steel erection and metal buildings, they've continued to evolve over the last several years into a full-service general contracting firm. They take pride in their commitment to quality, cutting-edge technology, and having a passion for what they do. For more information about their services or to discuss an upcoming project, visit www.ironhideconstruction.com or call 402-420-4961. At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Don't wait for Lincoln's fireworks stands to open up. Get the good stuff at Roca Crazy Cracker in downtown Roca. Stop in from June 26th through July 4th for the hot spot for rockets and more this Independence Day. Open 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day. Roca Crazy Cracker Fireworks in downtown Roca.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
This is Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank, making local decisions, supporting local organizations, and helping local businesses and farms succeed. We are dedicated to serving our clients and helping them meet their financial needs with sound, innovative banking solutions. From an array of checking and deposit accounts, cash management services, to small business, real estate, and ag lending. We're here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln is open and located just north of 11th and O Street. Highball Bar offers a vibe and atmosphere like no other, making it the perfect place to grab a drink or beverage. Highball Bar features great events such as Karaoke Sunday, $4 Tito's on Mondays, Jack Daniel's specials on Wednesdays, and much more. Make Highball Bar your go-to spot after a hard day at work or on the weekend. Highball Bar, located at 122 North 11th Street in downtown Lincoln.
This is area race announcer James Rowland. Join me and Bree Fansteel every Sunday night from 7 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket for the Finish Line, where we cover all things motorsports from local racing to racing around the world. Every Sunday night from 7 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
Play ball! Summertime is here, and so is another action-packed baseball season with the Lincoln Salt Dogs. Bring your whole crew to Haymarket Park to experience the magic under the lights and the thrill of the game. Enjoy daily specials like Wiener Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday, Fireworks Friday, and Family Fun Day Sunday, plus special events and discounts. Don't miss out on the excitement. Strike three, you're out! Visit saltdogs.com to see this week's promotions and secure your tickets to unleash the fun.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
Herbie the Fourth ate his first solid food today, prompting a response of nothing but steaks all week for the Nebraska offensive line.
Then Enrique Alvarez Clary.
No more peaches and carrots for Herbie the Seventh. Baby food be damned.
Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick and Rico back with you. Huge shout out to Empire Fence Netting for their support of the program, as always. Rico, we are, let's see, June 27th. We are less than 20 days away from EA Sports College Football being released.
Heavy breathing.
Are you excited?
Extremely excited.
I suppose we're less than 20 days from the release for early access.
Yeah. Because that released on the 16th.
Everybody gets early access, right?
I'm pretty sure like a lot.
For this thing,
like
everybody's getting early access.
Nobody's waiting for the 19th.
Great marketing strategy also.
Yeah.
Because you also know that like right now it's pretty much done. They're just waiting to release it.
They're just like, oh, darn.
Have you ordered it?
Yes.
Good.
I got the special
Did you get the Madden?
No.
Just the 100.
I got the 150 one with the locker and the jersey.
You also get Madden.
And something else. I think so. Well, okay, so I looked that up and it was like, so there's the $150. So, okay, so there's the regular one, the $100 one, and then the like $100 and something one where you get Madden with it, right?
Yeah, 150 is the one with Madden.
Well, the one with the jersey and stuff just has 150, but there's also like 100 and so it's $149.99. Then there's one that was like $169.99, and then one that was like $189.99. And they made it seem like it was the same as like the regular one. So the 150 is like the $60 one, but it just has a jersey and a thing and a locker and all this. And then for the extra stuff and the whatever cover is the 140 or 160 whatever. So I don't know what I'm getting.
Barney on the text line says, so excited. Let's get an online dynasty going, boys. You know where to find us.
Bet.
We aren't hard to find. We are doing
I ain't hard to find.
We have already decided and scheduled a ticket staff party.
Yes.
Not party necessarily.
Get together
For the following Saturday.
Game together.
Where we're here and we're gonna stream it.
Yeah.
We'll log into Rico's Twitch account and we'll stream it from his. Maybe I'll have mine set up by that time.
You probably won't.
My ring light and my camera is just laying on my floor.
You've been saying it for a long time.
I've had it for about 3 months and just never set it up.
What a tragedy.
It's super easy though. I don't know why I couldn't.
I don't know why you aren't.
So anyway, I need to do that. I need to get that set up. So that way we'll get some games streaming because Terrell Farley's talking a big game. Obviously, Amon is going to talk a big game with that. Jay thinks he can beat us. Not sure the last time Jay Foreman picked up a controller.
Yeah, Jay's not a gamer.
So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a good time, though.
You're just an old man.
And obviously, folks are invited to come on down and grab some coffee at the mill, hang out with us, and watch some NCAA football. Get you ready for the season, because then at that point, you'll be just a little over a month away.
Yeah.
Quickly.
How ready is it going to get you ready for the season, though, if these rankings are the way that they are?
Well, the rankings. And that's why we're talking about this.
They are off.
They're off badly. They released like the pageantry video yesterday, which looks awesome.
Beautiful.
But then today they released offensive rankings and defensive rankings. And we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this.
We're going to spend enough time.
But the one that stuck out to a lot of people is the Colorado love.
There are 3 things that stuck out to me. One is just Colorado in general, who is coming in the rankings at number 8 offensively. And get this, number 20 defensively.
That is correct.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Should we pull up one of my favorite sites of all time, collegefootballstats.com?
I think you should, because it doesn't make offensively. They were really fun to watch. They put up a lot of numbers.
Yeah,
but
somewhat.
I don't know if the numbers equated to a should equate to a highly ranked offense. And their defense, look, their defense was garbage.
Certainly.
Their defense was bad. Yeah, sure. Their defense shut down Nebraska. Nebraska's offense was garbage.
Nebraska's offense was really bad too.
But that defense for Colorado was not good. It was not good. And somehow they get 20th and 84 overall ranking for their defense. The second thing that stuck out to me, USC's defense.
You're right.
Again, not a very good defense. But guess what? 86 overall, good for 16th best in this video game. The 16th best defense belongs to USC. I don't think so, good sirs and madams.
Here you have it. In 2023, Colorado's offense was 64th in yards gained per play on offense in 2023 and 69th in offensive success rate in 2023. You mentioned the defense for Colorado.
Yep.
I need to find, I continue to scroll. Just a heads up, by the way, Nebraska was 11th in the country in total defense last year, allowed just over 300 yards per game at 303. Colorado's defense, and this just fuels the rivalry, it feels like.
Colorado's defense is 127th.
There it is.
They are 4th worst in the country, allowing 453.3 yards a game.
But
apparently, according to EA Sports, they are the 20th best defense on the video game.
Yeah, you like this?
That doesn't make any sense.
Now there's a couple good players, right? Shadur's a good quarterback. As much as it pains people to admit it, we need to come to our senses that Shadur's a very good quarterback.
He's a very good quarterback. Travis Hunter is one of the best athletes in the country.
Absolutely.
By the way, USC is 116th in the country.
Just like
in last year's defense, but 16th best.
I mean,
according to EA
I'll be honest. Not that these rankings mean anything.
They mean everything, Nick.
And there's going to be updates throughout the season.
By the way, in case you didn't know, or in case you couldn't tell, Nebraska, as Nick said, finished 11th in the country in total defense, not in the top 25 defensively, according to EA Sports.
And frankly, Iowa kind of got screwed in the defensive rankings.
Iowa got shafted.
They should be a top 10 defense.
Easily.
And where did they land, Rico?
13th.
Okay. So just a few spots after.
After Oklahoma and right above Virginia Tech.
We have to remember Oklahoma has the defensive first head coach now.
That doesn't matter if your defense isn't good. I don't care if your head coach is the best defensive coordinator in the world. If your defense wasn't that good
in the world,
you shouldn't be ranked that high.
Eric does say, and he makes a good point, Rico seems like the kind of person who would spend money and not know exactly what he's getting.
That is 100% what I do.
Yeah, Chase B asked before, what was Nebraska ranked in NCAA 25 since it is a decent defense?
Not.
They're not ranked.
At least not in the top 25. 11th best
Which
in the
is
country.
crazy.
Not top 25.
A crazy thought.
Let me hold on.
They didn't do a good job at forcing turnovers.
No, they did not.
So there were some weaknesses.
But you held teams to not a lot of yards. Hey, give me
when frankly your offense was so putrid that they put you in a lot of negative spots.
Give me the top 10 defenses from last year. And I will tell you if they are here in these.
Okay.
Rankings. If they're in the top 10.
Michigan,
they are 7th.
Okay. Penn State,
they are 9th.
Okay. Ohio State,
they are 1st.
Okay. Now, obviously, you have guys graduated.
Yes, things have changed.
That play a part in that. Nebraska had a couple of guys move on. Notre Dame,
they are in here. They are 6th.
Okay. Iowa, 13th. We already talked about that. Clemson
is 5th.
Georgia
is 2nd.
Let's see. I'm trying to take away because it's going to be mostly Power 5 that are there.
They're all Power 5.
Alabama,
they are 4th.
A&M,
they are not on the defensive side of things.
Okay, they finished.
No, yeah, the 19th.
Okay, that's where they finished last year.
Okay.
How about Virginia Tech?
Virginia Tech, as I said, 14th.
The one that got to me the most was, I believe, North Carolina's listed in the top 20.
They are 23rd.
Okay, 23rd.
Louisville is 21st.
They finished last year 97th in total defense.
Yeah.
So just because the rankings are crap,
the top 10 pretty solid.
Somewhat
pretty solid. Those you were naming the top defenses, a lot of them were in the top 10.
You're right.
Makes sense. Those are good. After 10, EA Sports was like, screw it.
Just throw the fun teams
Throw them in there.
North Carolina finished 97th in total defense last year. They're expecting, what would that be? Like a 76 spot jump in total in defense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Kansas State's 24th. Florida rounds
That
up to
seems
top
accurate.
25 at 25th.
Florida seems accurate too. Florida might not look like that because of the schedule that they have this year. But nonetheless. So once again, there will be plenty of updates, I'm sure. Rico and I will get an online dynasty going. You guys
also, Clemson is in the top 10 in offense. Their offense was not good last year.
We'll throw a ticket online dynasty out there.
Yeah, why not?
Get me, Rico, Amon, Terrell,
show y'all
all
what's
in there.
up.
Yeah, see what happens.
Show y'all what's good.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we get you ready for On the Block. We're gonna talk arm injuries in Major League Baseball. I want to read this quote real quickly just to talk about the changes in just the way pitchers are throwing the baseball over the last couple of years. And it says something along the lines of, and of course I can't find the quote. Here it is. Major League Baseball pitchers already have exceeded 100 mile per hour nearly 400 more times in 2024 than they did in 2014. I'll read that again. Major League Baseball pitchers have already exceeded 100 miles per hour on their pitches nearly 400 more times in 2024 than they did in the entirety of the 2014 season and postseason. We'll talk about that. Break that down a little bit more with Austin and Strick as we cross over and get you ready for On the Block coming up next on the Happy Hour.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The Nebraska Lottery presents 5 reasons the dollar bill is so great. First, it's always there when you need it. You can always find one folded up in your pocket just waiting to get you out of a jam. Second, it's humble. It doesn't strut around like a 50 or 100 waiting for people to compliment it. Third, it works hard. Whether you need more money for a tip or extra detergent at the laundromat, a dollar bill sure comes in handy. Fourth, it beats lugging around 100 pennies. And fifth, you can use it to buy a Lotto America ticket from the Nebraska Lottery. Lotto America only costs $1. It has a $2 million starting jackpot with drawings every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And you can add the All-Star bonus for an additional $1 to multiply any prize won. So visit a Nebraska Lottery retailer today and buy a Lotto America ticket. Ooh, sounds like someone tried to pay with 100 pennies. So sad.
Lotto America top prize odds, 1 in 26 million.
Don't wait for Lincoln's fireworks stands to open up. Get the good stuff at Roca Crazy Cracker in downtown Roca. Stop in from June 26th through July 4th for the hot spot for rockets and more this Independence Day. Open 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day. Roca Crazy Cracker Fireworks in downtown Roca.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. We'll see a chance of showers and storms throughout the day, otherwise mostly cloudy with the high around 86. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms are likely with the low around 69. And tomorrow, continued chance of showers and storms, otherwise mainly sunny with the high around 91. I'm meteorologist Kyle Cutter from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
What a day. I could sure use an afternoon pick-me-up. Hold up, the new 93.7 The Ticket location has a milk, coffee, and tea inside? Oh yeah, this is a game changer.
Need an afternoon pick-me-up? How about a coffee or smoothie on your way to work? Stop by the Ticket Mill location on 1040 O Street to get your go-to drink or try out our new game day drinks exclusive to the Ticket Mill location. We know it'll make your day a million times better.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl, Jordan, with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Let's talk commitment. And what better way to do that than with some shiny, sparkly jewelry? Am I right? Now, I'm not suggesting you have to rush, but if you're considering making a significant move, do your planning. We offer financing and payment plans. Lock down your selection with confidence. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Spring often marks the beginning of severe weather, which can lead to power outages. LES wants you to be prepared before the storm. Restock your emergency kit, update your info with LES, and if you encounter an outage, report it at les.com/report.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
This is area race announcer James Rowland. Join me and Bree Fansteel every Sunday night from 7 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket for the Finish Line, where we cover all things motorsports from local racing to racing around the world. Every Sunday night from 7 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
When I gave you the cookie, I heard very clearly, I don't think about you, Schmidt.
Why would I think about you?
Because we're friends. We're not animals.
We're men. The only time a man is allowed to think about another man is when that man is Jay Cutler.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the happy hour one final time on a Thursday. Nick, Rico, Austin, and guess who is here?
Guess who's back?
Eric Strickland. What's up,
Back
Stricky?
again.
What it do? What it do, fellas?
How we feeling?
Be honest.
Good.
Be honest.
Let me just say, I look at situations like what occurred to me over the last 2-3 days as learning experiences.
Okay.
So, yes, I think I handled it. You know, sometimes I just believe that, you know, God sometimes is giving me lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe
Man,
patience.
You got through all of summer school today. These last couple of days.
And so learning patience, learning how to navigate within it. Got a lot of reading done, you know, so just things that probably time permitting, I maybe don't, you know, do to the extent it kind of empowered me to do some of those other things, right?
Yeah.
And then I wasn't really frustrated until I was tired. And I think that's how it happens for all of us, right? Like probably in tired moments, we get more frustrated. And that was like, I've been in the airport almost 11 hours and then all of a sudden they cancel the flight. And then you're stuck in a city like after you done watched it all go by. It wasn't like I was there for standby. It wasn't and it wasn't anything of my own. Obviously the airport closed, you know, with situation going on here, you know, shout out to you guys for getting through that. Not you guys. I think it was Omaha that really got blasted with a lot of hell. And, you know, then coming back and still having some of the same things. And I can tell that I grew.
Yeah.
Like I can tell from one day of the frustrations and in those moments, I think I grew it a little bit better and just glad to be home. So when I landed and got home, I was just very peaceful and restful and just woke up this morning with a better attitude.
There we are. Good stuff, Stricky. Good stuff. We're going to get you guys going on the block here in a little bit. First, I told Austin about this article, and Stricky, you might find this one intriguing too. There's a series of articles that they're sending out on The Athletic over the last couple of weeks. It's headline "Missing Bats," and it's broken up into parts. And today was
MLB bats.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. And this was like part 4, I believe. And it's headlined as MLB arm injuries mount, the rising cost of gas becomes clear. And it's fascinating because I said this, and of course I just went backwards. Though I said this right before we went to break in the second segment, but that in 2024, through 82 games that they've played, through 82 games, Major League Baseball pitchers have exceeded 100 miles per hour on a pitch 400 more times in 2024 than they did in all of 2014. That's pretty illustrative of the differences in how the game has changed. They talk to current Major League Baseball pitchers. They also talk to highly level prospects that didn't have MLB careers because they got injured and then never got re-signed or picked back up by our team. And there's a couple of really telling quotes in this that is kind of just, I mean, jarring, I suppose, if you think about it. There was one prospect that said, none of it mattered if I throw 72 miles per hour, but if I throw 90 miles per hour, then I'm able to get drafted. And it's like those telling things. You think back to the way Major League Baseball used to be, where the days of Tom Glavine and Greg Maddux, and frankly, even at the beginning of guys like Kyle Hendricks' career, Charlie Morton is one that they talked about in this article, who's now 40 years old. Those guys made a living of being able to spot a pitch, consistently living what normally is lower in the zone, inducing a lot of ground balls, just a lot of contact outs, and they made a pretty lengthy career out of it.
Yeah.
Now the case, it feels like organizations are saying, give me all you got for 3, 4, 5 years, and then we'll be good to go. Then you're not going to have much of a career after that. It's okay if you get banged up. We know that we're probably putting a little too much of a tax on you. Your career might be short-sighted, but we're going to get the most out of you as soon as we can. And it's bizarre how crazy the game has kind of changed. One of the quotes in here has been, and I need to find it real quick, but here it is. Major league clubs are employing a, quote, smoke 'em if you got 'em approach, asking starting pitchers to sprint instead of just going the distance. They incentivize swinging and missing, which they eschew chance, which was once considered one of baseball's charms. Baseball's value system in the missing bats era rewards certainty, and nothing is more certain than a strike 3. Training has followed that logic. Mass is gas, and gas is hard to hit. Even the Dodgers have hit .154 against 99 plus mile per hour pitches this season. And then over the past 10 seasons, Major League Baseball hitters have slugged just .280 on pitches of at least 100 miles per hour. The game has changed dramatically from when you were playing, from when Austin and I and Rico were growing up, from now today. Changed dramatically.
Yeah. And it used to be from the left side, you wanted to be at least 91-ish. From the right side, they liked it to be about 94-ish. And like I said, I used to see guys that literally couldn't find, but they were striving to sling it to make sure they hit those numbers. And that's sad. To me, it's very similar to what it is in the NBA, where you're not going to see many Tony Allens any longer. So there's been shifts.
You're right.
Because of the style. You're not going to see many in football Christian Okoye types, or it's just there's not you want versatility from the Christian McCaffrey types.
Yeah, it's fascinating because, and before we get to Austin real quick, I'm correlating a pitcher's career right now to what a running back is in NFL.
That I think that article even brought that up.
Did it bring it up?
Somewhere in there, I don't remember exactly where, but that's where I was going to go, is that if you have a Derrick Henry, you're not going to trade him away. If you have a Garrett Cole, you're not going to trade him away. But you're going to look for, more of those guys who can get you 4 at the bare minimum, probably no more than 6. And you're okay with more walks now, because why? The ball's not in play as much either way. Back in it's still, you don't want to put free runners on base, right? I get that. But with the strikeout higher, there's less of a penalty in a swing for the fences era.
Yeah.
There's a higher risk and a higher reward, obviously.
Absolutely.
Because if there's going to be more strikeouts, well, what's the easiest way to strand a runner on base? Strike a guy out. If the ball's in play, the runner has a chance to move or a chance to score. So now you see guys throwing more pitches, hitters taking more pitches. Some of them they can't catch up with their eyes. Some of them are moving too far to hit.
Yeah.
And pitchers, with their relative lack of control, right now, it's never been easier to hit, but it's also never been harder to pitch, because you have to hit that velocity, because the strike zone is so inconsistent, because the ball is moving so much. I don't know how many of these pitchers legitimately know where it's going at any given time.
People care so much about the RPMs.
Yes.
Right? Like, so they talked to Tariq Skubal, who is a pitcher for the Detroit Tigers, in this article. And he mentioned, he's like, I'm breaking off now ones that have 2,800 RPMs, 3,000 RPMs, and things like that. He's not just living at the top of the zone with a fastball. I'm going to read this verbatim because it's kind of telling, right? And I think it's really educational for us that live in Nebraska that might not have a major league baseball team here, to truly get an idea of kind of where these guys are at.
One quick point too.
Go ahead.
A lot of pitchers are starting to have more variations of styles of pitches too.
Yeah.
So where you have slider, you have slurve. So they're throwing these different variations just so that they can get what you said, the strikeouts, because it changes the level, the eyes, the speed, and different things.
Especially in the analytics, it's hard. It's funny that Austin mentioned it's harder to pitch. And like, so much of this can be related to the youth conversation. That's not where we're going with this. This is strictly major league in the professional sense. But we know it now, like even in college baseball, we were talking about how guys in the day of analytics, in the day of equipment and technology that they have now, You mentioned, Austin, that it's harder to pitch. Well, it's because in practice, these guys can say, okay, how many RPMs is Garrett Cole pitching with? Let's see that 3 times or, 3 rounds in BP today. All right, so now we know, kind of have an idea of what the slider is, which is now forcing pitchers to up their game more, which then shortens the time of their career. I think Jameson Taillon, who currently pitches for the Cubs, was mentioned in this article. He says, I'm not going to be the test dummy. I'm not going to be the one that goes out there and says, I'm just going to throw 80% and see what happens. Lucas Giolito says throwing 80% is probably the safest thing to do, but you're going to get hit around the park. And he said that as a quote. And then the article goes on to continue to say both of those guys were first-round picks. Players with lesser prospect pedigrees are far more likely to push their limits as they compete for a roster spot and then a major league contract. It's not just fringe players spending all winter, though, airing it out. Year-round training has become the norm. Skubal trained throughout this offseason and threw 99 miles per hour in his first live bullpen this spring after Tommy John surgery. And now that workhorses like Verlander and Garrett Cole have had elbow issues, nobody is bulletproof, Skubal said. Arms are unpredictable. I trust my routine. If I do get hurt, I'm not going to lose sleep because I did everything I could do to not get hurt. His teammate with the Tigers, Andrew Chafin, said, if it's going to go, it's going to go. So just give her hell every day.
It's really interesting to see the power struggle between pitchers and organizations.
Yes.
Because there's so many quotes in there. It's the nobody's bulletproof. It's the I have to go for it. I don't have a choice.
Yep.
Everyone's arm is going to blow at some point. It's just part of the deal. Do organizations have enough power and control over these pitchers that they would, do away with, get rid of, not sign anyone who didn't go, balls to the wall, throw gas all the time?
Yeah.
Or what if major league pitchers, came to an understanding agreement in the offseason, which again, I know would be hard to do, and just say, we're not doing this anymore. We don't want to just be in the league for 3, 4, 5 years. Like I missed the 7th and 8th innings.
Yes.
Right. It's not going to happen on its own. It's going to take a group of guys taking it upon themselves, being successful doing it. Now he's officially back.
Yeah. Stricky, welcome back to the show.
You made it. But that's really the only way it's going to change, is that if baseball changes the rules, or I think if organizations agree within themselves, like, hey, this is how we're going to treat the game, which will not happen.
Yeah.
Or it's going to take every single pitcher doing it. But not every single pitcher is going to do that.
Starting from a group of notable names.
Absolutely.
Well,
and then it's going to even take a generation to trickle down.
Yes, the guys in that article, but they said, 80% is probably best, but if you throw 80%, you're getting shelled. So that's the hard part, is because you want to save your arm. The organizations want to save your arms in some cases, but the hitters are so good that if you take anything off of what you're throwing already, you're not going to last very long in terms of pitching during the game. Right. So it's that you're in a vicious cycle now where you want to take it off because you want to save your arm, but if you take it off, you're going to get shelled. You're not going to stay in the league for very long because you're not being very productive. But if you throw really hard and you're getting through 6 innings, your arm's going to go at some point. You're not going to be in the league very long because of your injuries.
The other part of this that I neglected to mention that I should have is the third-party offsite trainings, right?
Yep.
Your drive lines, your treads.
Yep.
Do they have an impact? Because pitchers are going to them to increase RPM, to increase velocity. Could people at those facilities say, we're tired of being responsible for surgeries, right? We know this is what the major leagues are chasing, but we feel an obligation, a duty to stop getting guys hurt. We see that what we're doing is possible. Should we continue to do it? I don't know if those companies are looking themselves in the mirror and saying, hey, what we're doing is good for us. It might not be best for these guys in the sport of baseball, but they keep coming to us, so we're going to keep doing it.
Here's just one more before we wrap things up, because once again, just kind of a telling article and eye-opening, I suppose, of where the game is currently at. Charlie Morton. Charlie Morton had time. This is verbatim from the article. Once again, Charlie Morton had Tommy John surgery in 2012, back before he threw as hard as he could. He was 33 years old, throwing low 90s, a sinker baller, when the Houston Astros signed him in 2016 and asked him to air it out. He threw his 4-seamer more and 5 miles per hour faster. Later, the Tampa Bay Rays told him to fire 4-seamers at the top of the zone. Next, the Atlanta Braves, Morton's current employer, instructed him to throw his breaking ball more. Morton said, "So what am I doing? I'm throwing the ball close to as hard as I can at the top of the zone, and I'm spinning a breaking ball as much as I can spin it, anywhere from 2,800 to 3,300 RPMs. It's not that good of an idea if you want to stay healthy." They say Morton is 40 now. He's a two-time All-Star with 2 World Series rings and nearly $150 million in career earnings, 80% which has come since he signed with Houston. He says, quote, "I'm speaking from a privileged position, from someone whose UCL repair has held up, knock on wood. But I find it both undeniable and unfortunate that I am at my best when running the engine in red."
I'm going to go to my beloved Kansas City Royals because that is the prevailing sentiment in Major League Baseball right there. What's happening with Charlie Morton, right? The Royals have 2 guys that maybe aren't at the top of the game, but have been pretty darn good. First one is Seth Lugo. 3,400 RPM on his curveball. His fastball sits at 93. So he's getting the RPM without the extreme velocity. Do we start seeing more guys like Seth Lugo that throw a lot of pitches that have a 4-seam with some, arm side run to it, but that know how to command their pitches and get by? Probably not, right? He doesn't strike a lot of guys out. That's been the knock on him. The other interesting example that brings me back to Charlie Morton is Brady Singer. 2-pitch guy. Sinker, slider. Sinker runs arm side. Slider goes glove side.
Yeah.
That's all he throws. The Royals have been working with him on a changeup. He doesn't want to throw it. The latest project was a 4-seam fastball. Get something at the top of the zone because your sinker doesn't work at the top of the zone very often. Brady Singer, same thing, 92, 93. If the Royals were to trade Brady Singer to Houston, would they be more adamant about him adding a third pitch? Or would they do the same thing they did with Charlie Morton and say, we know you can throw harder than 93. You're a league average number 3 right now, but the only way you're going to get better is by running that up to 95, 96. The Royals haven't told Brady Singer to do that yet. I wonder how many other organizations would.
No, all they have to do is get him to add an FSP.
Yeah, an EFIS. Come on, let's throw a little EFIS. Here we go. I just thought that was really eye-opening. And I mean, there's a lot of telling comments from guys that are still playing, are still throwing, are in the midst of it, right? But they don't care because it means it's the difference between having a job and not having a job. And they're gonna put their arms at risk here to have a job.
That's the conversation we had about Shohei Ohtani. How long?
Yeah.
How long?
Yeah.
Is it sustainable? Do you want him, to continue doing it the way that he's doing it? So yeah.
Because these organizations do only care about the ROI, right? Are we getting our return? Are we getting our return? Because that's the thing. That's where I'm curious and fascinated by like the Paul Skeens situation. Will Pittsburgh want to tie him to a long-term deal? And long-term for pitchers more than 6 years.
Is Strasburg the example they're going to use?
That's exactly my thought. Is like, do they want to, or does Paul Skeens go, you know what? He'll try to get that long-term deal just because of the way that the game is played. But Pittsburgh and clubs, they aren't going to want to sign those guys. They're so attracted to, and frankly now, that's becoming more and more common. 100 mile per hour plus consistently from guys. We see it at the College World Series.
They're not signing pitchers for their 10-year deals anymore.
No. And there's no reason to. I mean, Shohei wouldn't have gotten that if it wasn't for his bat.
No doubt.
So it's fascinating to see it unfold.
Maybe pitchers should start hitting again.
Yes.
I like pitchers hitting.
Yes.
Then you'll get your money.
Hitting.
Then you don't have to throw as hard.
Some value.
You don't have to throw as hard because then you can hit.
Potentially. Maybe two-way players. We see more two-way players.
Otherwise, you're Dennis Rodman.
What's coming up on the block today, gentlemen?
NBA draft winners and losers. It was a weird one. We'll get into that. Could America support 100 NFL teams?
America.
The USA, right? There's a lot of talk about expansion in Mexico, Europe, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's get 100 teams in America. Bill Barnwell put that together.
2 per state.
And then does MLB need Shohei Ohtani in the home run derby? And as a response to the power creep in Major League Baseball by pitchers, hitters are fighting back. How? New technology.
All right. All that and more coming up on the block. Make sure you stick around for that one. Good stuff. Stricky is back. He'll be joining Austin in just a few moments. Rico and I, we're done. We're out of here. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Adios.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. We'll see a chance of showers and storms throughout the day. Otherwise, mostly cloudy with the high around 86. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms are likely with the low around 69. And tomorrow, continued chance of showers and storms. Otherwise, mainly sunny with the high around 91. I'm meteorologist Kyle Cutter from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Get rid of